I behave and that we have sound and all of that. So he's given his students an assignment to work on. So I wanted to go over some things because it has been very difficult. And in all honesty, I'm not great at writing, okay? I do math, and now that I'm teaching 6th grade science, I have less time to communicate. So I'm not sending emails and talking to people, so I wanted some face-to-face time just to be available to let you know some things, answer any questions you have, go over any issues, etc. So number one issue, we've had everybody off a property, and depending upon where you come from and what you believe right now, the numbers for COVID are very minimal in Broward County right now, okay? So we are opening the doors for parents to walk in their little ones for the classroom. What I don't want to happen is I don't want it to be come in and have a conference with the teacher. You can come in and say good morning, go to work. Some of my teachers are like, I kind of like being ready for the day. I love my parents, but I'd rather talk to them after school. Let them know if you need a conference, okay? But you are welcome. Mr. Hines asked me a few minutes ago if he could walk down to kindergarten. Absolutely, okay? If you needed something from my classroom, because Michaela's in my homeroom, although they switch, so I only have her 2 mornings a week, first thing in the morning, you're welcome to do that. Try to leave by 8:30. We're going to try to keep minimum traffic on property during the day. Try not to stay too long. And remember, your keys to good health, don't come on board if you're sick. You know, that's the main thing. The biggest thing is transmission occurs when we're spreading things because we don't feel well. So I've tried to tell the parents and the students stay home when they're sick. The common cold is back. Regular influenza A and B are back. So those things are going around. There is still some evidence of COVID. I talked to the head of the hospital system for Broward Health on Thursday and asked about hospitalizations and was told that in the 4 Broward Health hospitals, there were under 10 patients. So numbers are very minimal. I mean, you're hearing numbers are going up. We have more cases. You know, there's something about the spirit of fear that is not healthy for us. And it's really done a lot of damage on the kids. I have to tell you, I've never seen students deal with some of this stuff, and even issues with their academics. You know, some of them have really struggled with academics because some stayed home most of last year, and some of you that kept your kids home last year were like classroom teachers, and your kids came in ready to work. Some of the others, mom was working, the kids were home, and they're like, woo, it's party time, and they're still getting back into the swing of things. So the goal here is to make sure we get the kids back where they need to be so that they're learning and growing and that they're not walking in fear. Mr. Griffin does prayer requests in his Bible class. And for those of you that don't know Mr. Griffin, if you have watched any of our chapel services, he's our chapel coordinator, okay? He's our middle school Bible teacher, and he does prayer requests. And a few weeks ago, he had a prayer request from one of our students that was, pray that I'm no longer afraid of COVID. Now, just for information purposes, some of you lost family members or friends. I lost friends. I lost a family member, okay? I don't actually think he died from COVID. I think he died from a heart attack, but it was listed as COVID. But it was after COVID, so that's how they did it. But my sister's husband of 55 years passed away last year. So I understand that for all of us, it's been a really hard time the last 2 years. What that message sends to those kids, if they've lost a loved one or a close friend, is that there's reason to be afraid. I'm not asking you to do anything differently, but pray with your children so that they know God has not given them a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And that God, can you make sure those kids get to class, Mrs. Perez, that God will take care of them. Also, make sure you're following health protocols. I already mentioned not coming in if you're sick. Make sure your kids are taking vitamins, they're getting ample rest, we're getting exercise. That I'm telling myself that. You know, I went through this spurt during COVID where I was exercising every day. I dropped a dress size. And then I took it all back on. And I'm like, okay, so I need to get back in the swing of things. Exercise, proper diet, proper rest, proper nutrition, peace. When you live with stress, if these kids, if our students are stressed because they're walking in fear, that's not healthy for them. It's not healthy for us. So please do family devotions. Pray with your kids at night. If you have your child dealing with something, we have Mrs. Hilaire that we brought on this year. I'm not sure what we're doing next year yet, but to answer some questions if the kids had a hard time. I don't want to give them an excuse for, I can't do this because I'm stressed. No, I want to walk them through it. So let's take authority over it. Let's deal with that. But know that you are welcome on property. Try to keep it to a minimum. Make sure you don't come on property if you're ill, all of that. So are there any questions about being on property? Just let me know if there are. Number 2, we are planning to do the same thing next year. So the first day of school is going to be earlier next year, okay? If Brandon and Sahara are coming late, we're moving it to the 16th. So it's Tuesday the 16th that Broward County Public Schools are starting back. And no. Time frame's the same. It's just you have vacation plans. I don't want you to plan for that week and then you see my calendar, which is done, but I don't think it's posted yet, and you go, man, we're going on vacation. We can't start school till a week later. I want you to know now, if you've already planned vacation, we'll talk, but we're coming back on Tuesday the 16th. The teachers are coming back the week before that. We're going to do some kind of orientation on Monday. We'll probably do it in phases so that we don't have everybody on property at once, but you are going to be welcome on property. We are going to include room parents, and we are going to have some PTF meetings on probably every month to 6 weeks. Am I correct? Mrs. Perez, who's the preschool director, helps with PTF. She's always looking for volunteers, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But just so you know, we end on June the 8th, and I'll go back over these at the end. We come back on August the 16th. So Monday, August the 15th, we'll have orientation. If you're not going to be available on Monday, August the 15th, the week before, if you let me know, you can come in and meet with the teacher. I just want to make sure that the teachers are present when you come. I have a couple people that have some scheduled time off. They have kids going to college or whatever it might be. So I want to make sure that we arrange things properly for you, okay? So everybody knows that. The other change in the calendar for next year, this is really a big change. Now, number 1, we go through reaccreditation next year. I have a whole agenda. It's in order. I'm completely out of order, just so that you know, okay? So I try to plan things. Everything's there so I don't miss anything. So we go through reaccreditation for next year. Every 5 years, there's a process of renewing your accreditation. For those that are new to the school, we are accredited by League of Christian Schools, which is an arm of the Assemblies of God. They give us our Christian school protocols, and we're accredited through a partnership with Cognia, which Cognia is your regional accreditation. Secular, all the public schools are accredited by Cognia, etc. So they bring a team in to visit every 5 years. So this is our time. We expire in June of 23. We've scheduled that for the end of November, the beginning of December. Okay, we wanted to do it before hotels got crazy expensive, but the League of Christian Schools sponsors their Teachers Educators Conference that we take the teachers to every year in November. We close on a Wednesday. We're out for Thursday and Friday. They moved it back a week. So it's the week before Thanksgiving. So we need time to make sure that the school is ready for the visit. The week after Thanksgiving, the team is coming to visit the school for accreditation on Wednesday. So what we're doing, this is for plans so that you know. We're going to take Wednesday afternoon and leave so the teachers can leave. That'll be a half a day. We're going to be out Thursday and Friday. Monday and Tuesday are going to be teacher work days, so they can clean their rooms. I have a couple, they can help clean the school, get everything ready, etc. So you're going to have the whole week of Thanksgiving off. So you're going to have your kids for 10 days. I'm telling you this because I have Brazilians that love to travel, and they take a 10-day vacation during school. You can take your 10-day vacation from the time we go to LCS until after Thanksgiving. Try to be back on Monday after Thanksgiving, okay? And we will have some parent interviews when the team is here. So that's a long time for you guys to be out, but here's the logic in that. If we take off Wednesday half day, we're out Thursday and Friday, we bring the kids back Monday and Tuesday. I have a lot of families that will travel for Thanksgiving, okay? So they'll miss school Monday and Tuesday. I have a lot of kids, they're thinking about turkey and seeing the family, and even though they're here, they're not here. So rather than bring them back for 2 days, give them 5 days off, bring them back again, it's one transition back. So we're going to call that our fall break, okay? So you're going to have a long fall break this year. Wednesday until a week from Monday, so the whole week of Thanksgiving. Now, Wednesday we'll have a half a day. So we do want the students to come on the half a day because we don't want them to miss school. I don't remember the dates. I think Wednesday may be the 16th, and I think you're out until, what, the 30th maybe? 28th, the 28th. So it'll be a long break for you, but I wanted to make sure you knew in advance, because if you are planning to travel to visit family, this gives you time, and it gives you time if you're buying plane tickets to buy them now when they're cheaper. Hopefully they'll continue to be cheaper. If the price of gas keeps going up, they're going to put surcharges and everything else on things. So I want to give you time so you can plan, okay? And then when we come back and the accreditation team is here, they're going to want to interview some parents, so we'll probably have an open parent meeting like this morning. We won't be in here, no administration. They'll come in and ask you questions. What do you like? What do you want to change? What are you seeing? Do you feel like it's beneficial for your students to be here? All of those questions. Are you with me? Okay. And then what we did this year with Easter, we're going to do the same thing next year. So we're going to do an early spring break and follow the public school. I do have some students whose family have some students in public school. I don't remember the dates for that, but we're going to follow Broward County Public School calendar for spring break, and then you're going to have Good Friday and Easter Monday off, okay? And then I think we get out on the 5th or 6th. I'm not positive, but because we have all that time during the year off, we started early so you didn't have to go till the end of June. But I wanted to let you know because it does affect you, and if you are planning anything with family, those are great times for you to plan. I will get the calendar up as early as possible so that you have it, and I'll try not to change anything on the calendar. We had some confusion on 5th grade with graduation. We had it on the calendar for months for the 19th, and then I had it on my calendar for the 26th, so we changed it, and then I had parents that had already made plane tickets to travel, and it was ridiculous for them to come back, so we put it back. So any questions about school calendar at this point in time? Yes, ma'am. Okay, the week of the 14th is the half a day on Wednesday, and the teachers' conference is Thursday and Friday. So we're out those days. All the way through till the 28th. You have a long break, okay? The 28th, Monday the 28th, okay? If it's Monday, I'm not looking at my calendar, so Monday the 28th. So you have time off, okay? You have time off to visit family. It is so important that you visit family. You know, I'm the baby of my family. I'm almost 69. So my 2 older sisters came to my son's wedding, and all of my kids were there, my grandkids, my niece and nephew, and all we said was we wished all the other nieces and nephews were there too, because it is important to get together. Please use the time that you have for that, because it's important even for your kids. So please keep that in mind. But we will post the calendar as soon as possible. But I wanted to make you aware of that. So with that, for accreditation, we have to do a survey, okay? So we have contracted with Johns Hopkins University to survey parents. I want to apologize because the survey is long. It's like 50 questions. It's going to take you 10 or 15 minutes. I am going to send it out tonight or tomorrow through GradeLink. Please look for it. Please answer the questions. It's a school culture survey. We have to do something. So in all honesty, they're going to go through, make recommendations for us. If we have the ability to do the survey through Cognia ourselves, but then we have to go through, tabulate everything. I felt an outside set of eyes from educators would give us a different perspective than what we would bring to the table. We'll examine it afterwards, but we want your input. So 6th through 12th grade students will be surveyed this week. They have an option to say no, they don't want to do it, okay? Just don't be mean, but be honest, okay? I'm not asking you not to be honest. You have an option to not want to do it. You can say, no, I don't want to do the survey. My teachers have the option to say, no, they don't want to do the survey. But I'm going to ask as much input as we can get. It helps us to make improvement. The whole goal of this survey process is to make improvement, to make things better. And in all honesty, we haven't surveyed. We surveyed in the beginning of COVID, but then we could have been surveying every week. And it just got hard. All we've done for the last year and a half, I lost 5 teachers since January, 5 classroom teachers since January this year. All we've done is to try to swim to keep our heads above water. And in all honesty, I went to a meeting a week ago Wednesday. The Broward Workshop did State of the County address, and there were 1,100 people there, all of the leaders from all of the different local governments, etc. And they talked about unaffordable housing in Broward County, how much housing is. My neighborhood, the houses are selling for $600,000. I'm like, these are not $600,000 houses. Any of you that are young and married and don't have your own home, I don't know how you buy something in Broward County right now, okay? Employment. There are way more job openings than there are people to fill the jobs. And the 2 greatest areas of concern are education and healthcare. Education and healthcare. So for those of you that don't know, I'm on the board of Broward Health. So I dabble in both areas, education and healthcare. People want to stay home. They don't want to work face-to-face. It's just a really difficult time, so I appreciate and covet your prayers as we're planning for next year. One of the things that we did, we went back to the drawing board with the school board and said, we have to pay more money. In all honesty, Christian school salary schedules are not comparable to public school, but we're doing as much as we can to get our salaries up so that I know that we can retain people. I'm also, as I sign contracts, issuing some signing bonuses so that they get them at the end of the year and they know that we're serious about what we're doing. So please keep us for staffing in prayer. We want to have the best teachers possible for your kids, okay? It's my goal, it's my desire. It's never my desire for somebody to leave. Of the 5 classroom teachers that stepped out of the classroom this year, 1 of them was due to physical, okay? Mrs. Connor has come back, but I'm not putting the burden of a classroom back on her because she's had a hard time physically. So she's back with a smile on her face, working as wherever we need her, and we are hiring 2 rotating substitutes to have qualified, competent teachers to fill in if somebody's out. I hope I don't have to hire more than that, but we will if we need to. So the survey is important. Please pray for us. Please keep that in prayer. There are a couple of issues that I am concerned about, and probably nobody in this room affects this, but if you'll let your friends know, we have an issue with lunches. A lot of people still dropping off lunches, and that's a lot of open and close. We actually have Uber drivers, delivery dudes bring in lunches. Can you deliver this to so-and-so? And we have some parents that are sending Uber drivers to pick their kids up. I'm not going to let them get in the car with an Uber driver going forward. I didn't realize that was going on when I was told that on Friday. I said, So I am going to send some notes out about today's meeting. So if you can't be here, we'll keep them till 6. If I have to work on the aftercare charges, I'll work on the aftercare charges with you. Talk to me about it, okay? But you don't know who's driving your child. It's not safe for your child. And I really, nothing against Uber or Lyft. I know they try to screen people. I really don't want people I don't know on property. I want to welcome you guys here, but I don't want to welcome people I don't know at this point, okay? We have to get to know them a little bit first, and I'm not ready to get to know Uber drivers and Lyft drivers. So are you with me? Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. Can you send lunch with him in the morning? Okay, let's do this. Shoot me an email. How old is your son? Preschooler? Shoot Mrs. Perez an email. We'll work it out for you. Okay? I am not opposed. When you have an issue like that, I know I have a 6th grader that has severe trouble with allergies. I'm not opposed to that. What is the issue at hand, especially with the delivery dudes and stuff, we have kids whose parents order lunch for 12 o'clock because they have a 12:15 lunch, and the lunch shows up at 1:30. So lunch is over. The kid is now eating lunch. The student is now eating lunch. It's all over their classroom. It's a distraction to learning. We will work with you. Not a problem. Okay? Yes, ma'am. I would prefer we work on getting it here or ordering, and I'm going to talk to John about making sure that it's not just a peanut butter sandwich or a cheese sandwich, that it's actually hot lunch. If you call by 9, we'll think about that, okay? I'm not sure, but would you make a note about that so I don't forget to check? That's a really good suggestion. Because what we normally do, if we don't know the person, we're calling you and asking, and we're checking their driver's license. I know we can put photos for the kids in the system. I don't know what we can put in there for the parents, but I will check. You had your hand up too. Okay. Work, and I put a note there that we look at what we can do. We've let the high school students warm their lunches, but because little ones may not know how to use the microwave, um, I, we will check on it. One of the things, and I don't know whether most of you work, but not everybody does, if we could rotate a parent into lunch during the week, if we had a parent schedule, and maybe we can work on that this summer. If we had somebody, I'll buy 4 or 5 microwaves that they could heat lunch if we needed to. Okay. We have a warming box, but the warming box that we have, we use for the kitchen crew. I can check on that. I'm not sure what we do, but Mrs. Perez will write it down and we'll look into it and see. Yeah, we don't want to heat plastic containers. Yeah. With the big thing? Yeah. If you can do those, that's great. We will look to see if we can do anything to accommodate those who can't. I can't promise, but we'll at least check on it. Good suggestions. Did you have another question? Okay. Anybody else? So we want the drivers, we don't want them picking up kids. We don't really want drivers dropping off stuff. Dad, if you need to drop off stuff, we're going to work with you. Okay? And I know there are going to be times when all of you, your child left their lunch in the back seat of the car, you're going to drive by and bring it. The thing that concerns the office is there's a lot of open and close with the door and exposure to stuff that we don't really need to be exposed about from the same people every day. So if it's somebody every day, now that it's the Uber driver bringing Chick-fil-A every day, number one, I don't know how they're paying for that because that's expensive. Uber drivers and delivery dudes are ridiculously expensive, okay? Number two, it is not always coming on time. Number three, it's not the most nutritious for them, for the kids either. So we'll work with John, our caterer, on trying to make sure that the food options are as good as possible here, that there is an option for you to grab hot lunch. We'll even look and see if there's anything we can do for preschool, that if you work with Mrs. Perez, she can meet with him and talk to him. I can't promise what we can do, but we'll look at it. And all I'm asking from you is to try to promise to do your best to help us, to minimize exposure. Yes, ma'am. I hope so, but I don't know. The cost, in all honesty, for $5 they get a drink, they get lunch, and they get some kind of a treat afterwards. With the cost of food prices, I am hoping he's not rising. We haven't done our final meeting, but I'm hoping he's not rising. Just so you guys know, we don't make any money on lunches. It's an outside caterer that makes money. Last year, he actually gives me $250 towards electricity each month. I'm sure that they use more than $250 worth of electricity, okay, for all of the food preparation, the warmers, everything else that they do. But we've never upped that. Last year, he couldn't pay anything. We didn't take anything from him because it was such a crazy year. We understood that. He's been here for like 12 years. So I will try to see. I know he didn't raise them this year, but I also know that shipping costs. My husband, we have a seafood business in Orlando. The seafood containers that they ship from the Asia area with some of the tunas and stuff that they get have gone up in price from $3,000 a container to $27,000 a container. That's part of the reason why your food prices are so high, just so you know. So I'm hoping, I don't know, but as soon as we meet with him and I find out, I'll let everybody know, okay? And we've talked about looking at free and reduced lunch because we would probably qualify for that. The problem is it's not a very good lunch when they do them. So, I mean, Mrs. Hustamonte's girls went to public school, left here and went to public school when they graduated, and they were in schools where they had free and reduced lunch. They paid like 50 cents for lunch, but they didn't want to eat it. So they ended up bringing their lunch every day anyway. So we can look into free and reduced lunch. It's probably at least a 6 to 8 month process before we start, but I am concerned about the quality of the food if we do that. So that's the reason why we have not implemented that, just so everyone knows. Car lines, if you can not come until 15 minutes before car line, we're trying to keep the flow off of the street. And just so you know, we had a sign up a while ago about a special exception hearing. You're going to see a couple signs up, one about planning and zoning, and then one for city commission meeting. When we did the build out down on the west side back in 2007, somehow or the other they changed the plat note, and the amount of space that the school is actually supposed to be using is exceeded. And we were approved by the building department to do what we did, but they changed the plat note incorrectly. We're trying to get that fixed. So if you see the signs, you know what's going on, etc. The city of Margate has made some changes. Like if I have a school in this area, it's got to be, we're trying to get full use of the building. The church is trying to give us full use of the building. So we're working on that. If you have any questions about it, feel free to call me or email me. I probably answer an email faster than a call, okay? And if you have my cell number, text me, that's fine. But one of the things that they're concerned about is car lines out on the street. I think we've done a really good job of keeping them off the street. But Officer Frankenhauser told me that, oh, no, your cars are out on the street all the time. I said, no, they're not. They're in my parking lot because you let people speed. and he was like, well, we do have some speeding issues. I said, yeah, just come give some tickets. So Margate City Police has changed hands like 3 times for the chief of police over the last couple of years, okay? Chief retired. They had somebody step into his place. He's gone. Officer, I can't remember his name. I can see his face. He's now the chief. He's doing a good job, but everything has been mixed up. So I appreciate your patience with Carline. Try to make sure that you're not coming more than 15 minutes early and that you're here by 15 minutes afterwards. So if your student dismisses at 3, most of the elementary kids, we try to get out 5 minutes early. So 15 till, 20 till at the earliest, okay? And if you're picking up like Mrs. Gabriel, you're picking up an elementary student and a middle school student, you want to come close to 3:15. Get Carissa and then go get Kirsten so that you're doing that drift. And if you have an issue with Carline, just if you're if you're middle school and you're in the 4th grade Carline, 6th or 7th grade, you're in the 4th grade Carline, and they're still picking up 4th grade parents, they're going to probably ask you to drive around or to park. Just, it's not that we don't want to give you your child. It's just we're trying to get through Carline so there's room for everybody to be there, okay? Yes. No U-turn right here. Okay. And they had the sign down for the while, but the sign's back up. And Officer Frankenhauser mentioned that. You have people making a U-turn at 15th. And you can go down to where the sports complex is and make a U-turn if you need to do that. And the school zone is very short. It's from canal to canal. That's it, you know. So I don't want any of you to get a ticket because school zone tickets are ridiculously expensive. And in all honesty, you all work hard for your money. So just know that they're out there. I drive in there, and if I'm driving during school zone time, sometimes I forget. And then I'm like, I'm the principal and I'm speeding. I need to take care of it. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's covered by the tree. I can ask them to clean that up. Would you make a note on that? Right. Yeah. Okay. So they put the blinking sign up, but they haven't regulated it so it blinks school zone. They're trying to do that. It blinks that you're too fast, but they have it regulated at 40 miles per hour. So I will ask for them to at least trim the trees. I don't know if, okay. It was probably Officer Frankenhauser. Okay. Right. They, you know what? So under the former administration, the traffic officer, when we called them and we said, so number one, we had a Captain Sudman, who was a female that retired in September. Captain Sudman, all I had to do, I had her cell phone number, all I had to do was say, we got speeders, and I'd have 3 police officers here for the next 3 or 4 days. And then it would slow down, and when it picked up, she'd bring them back. She's not there, and I don't have anybody that's doing that right now. But I will try to work with them. I actually called the city manager, and I called one of the commissioners and talked to him. I'm friendly with all the commissioners, but for whatever reason, they don't seem to be on top of it this year. And, you know, and I think it might be because we're going through the process, so they're trying to make it look like it's all us. And I feel like we've contained, you all have been very cooperative during Carline. Very cooperative. I have a couple people that are minimal violators that I pick up the phone and call when they do something. But for most of you, you're very patient. We try to keep them off of the street. My teachers try to get the kids in the cars, but it's really difficult to get out here. And I know that. And I think that it's not because of you all, it's because these people are flying down the street. So we will try to ask about the school zone sign, and we'll try to ask about trimming the bushes and all of that. I can't promise, but I'm going to ask. And I will ask about them sending out police, because I don't want you guys to get tickets, but all they need to do is put a police office out there by the school zone sign, and they'll stop. Or even put their big flashing sign up, school zone, for a few days, and then maybe it would register that it's a school zone. So anyway, parking lot speed is 10 miles an hour, and remember, no cell phones when you're in the parking lot. Scholarships. If your student, you had a question before I go on. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right, right. Right, right. Miss Dean and I have been talking about, do we relocate kindergarten to this side, but then I have to figure out, who do I put in the giant room over there? You know, I don't want to put 40 kids in a middle school class, although some teachers could whip 40 kids into shape with no problem at all. Some of you moms could do that too, okay? Um, but we're looking at what we can do. Now, a suggestion for you for the rest of the year: if he gets here at 5 minutes to 8, drop him off at the front. Let him come over. You won't get charged for morning care. If you have a problem with that, let me know. Just shoot me an email. Hey, they charged me for morning care. I was here at 6 minutes to 8, and they charged me for it. I'll take care of it for you, okay? That will alleviate some of that, but I know that kindergartners are slow, and I know that one of my car line people likes to talk to all of you. Mr. Barcelona wants to make sure everybody's saved, going to heaven, and is serving Jesus before he leaves property. And I have to tell you, I have wonderful respect for him, but I have to remind him he's my Spanish teacher. He's not my Bible teacher. So he'll open the door. Hi, Dad. Jesus loves you. What can we do? And I'll work on him too. And before you leave today, leave him alone. Okay. Okay. Praise the Lord. Before you leave today, if you walk out by the office, he has some of his projects from the art project displayed, and they look beautiful. So I'm going to encourage you to go visit that. Yes, ma'am.
Please park your car at the school office area and walk up to the door, because what's happening is we're having a long line of cars, and the students aren't getting out to the cars in time, and the line gets to be very long. And so we need to make sure that the kids are being picked up properly. So if you could park your car at the front office area and walk to the door and buzz yourself in, okay? Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Perez is going to notify the teachers that park out front to park in the back, so that there are spaces on that side, so that you can park over there, walk over, and get your student, okay? So, and we'll work on opening that up for you to come in and access the building for next year. I want to hold off on that, but we're working on trying to move toward that. But make a note so that we let the teachers know that. If you are on scholarship, if your student is on scholarship, make sure you've done your renewals, okay? I don't know if any of you had trouble with this, but my daughter-in-law had trouble because they are supposed to be across-the-board renewal. If you qualified for a step-up or a AAA scholarship, and I don't know what AAA is doing, but step-up, you were supposed to just put in that you were renewing and not have to put in all your documentation. It was a computer glitch. So I was told by Step Up administration, just put in blank documents and upload blank sheet of paper, and they'll approve it. So if you are approved and you're coming back next year, get your sheets in as quickly as possible. And make sure your sheet has the ID number on it. Mrs. Satelli is telling me that classes are filling up. There is a lot of concern in public education today about what they're teaching. Okay? Some of you have been with me for years, and you've been concerned for years to make sure that your kids got that faith-based education. Okay? But Miss Borges, who's teaching second grade for me this year, is a former student of mine. She grew up in the school. Came from fourth grade, 4-year-olds all the way up. She just finished and graduated from FAU and came in just in time to take over from Miss Mondesir. When she was doing her internship in public school this year, okay, I called her to see how she was doing because I knew she was coming back, okay? Second grade calls her Miss Barbara. I'm like, "You're Miss Borges." And she said, "That makes me feel old." I said, "You're Miss Barbara." She said, "I'm Miss Barbara." I said, "She's getting married in June. When you get married in June, we're changing your name, okay? You're not Miss Barbara next year." She's already signed her contract for next year. But anyway, I called her and asked her how her internship was going. She said, "I can't wait to come back," because I hired her last fall, okay? She had to take a sabbatical and couldn't do her internship last fall. She did it in the spring semester. We got her early because we offered her a contract to finish out the year. And what do you call it? When I called her, she said, "I can't wait to get back to Abundant Life." I said, "Why?" She said, "Well, the first question my first grade teacher that mentored me asked was, 'What pronoun do you identify by?'" Every day, a story about either LGBTQ, some form of alternative lifestyle to first graders. So people are looking for ways out of public school. So if you're one of my parents and you haven't registered, you haven't re-enrolled, and you're coming back, please talk to Mrs. Satelli. And please remember, MAT fees need to be paid for that seat to be guaranteed, right? Mrs. Satelli's back there going, yes. Did you have anything else you needed to tell them? No. Right. If your child is by any chance a McKay scholarship child, those scholarships are changing this year. They are going to ESAs, which are educational savings accounts, and they're going to be part of the FES, Family Empowerment Scholarship Program, Unique Abilities, so FESUA. So for the transition, your child is approved already, but you have to select, are you going to go with Step Up for Students Scholarship Funding Organization or AAA? I don't think there's any others out there that I'm aware of. All you have to do is select based upon, they were supposed to have sent an email out to you in February. If it doesn't apply to you but one of your friends, please communicate with them. Please do that as quickly as possible so we know we get you enrolled and you're taken care of. Okay? That would be really important. And the scholarship application process is open to new people. So if you do have friends that are looking to do a scholarship, have them apply. Just so you know, the whole mindset of the school choice movement is to open up school choice to everybody. And Florida has the largest school choice program in the United States currently. The movement right now is to open up an educational savings account for every student in Florida. Now, it's going to take a few years. I don't know, those of you that have middle school students, I don't know that you're going to be part of it. But I never got to be, and I started with my kids when there was still school choice stuff being talked about. But that would mean that they would fund your educational savings account. We would bill you, you would approve the bill, and then if there were surplus money, it would roll over. if you ran out of money, you would pay for it, okay? So some of the special needs kids have had some surplus money that's rolled over, or they've been able to use for educational devices, etc. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but I know that it's being discussed out there. I know that we have been contacted. League of Christian Schools has been contacted by the American Federation of Choice or something like that. They are pushing ESAs, Step Up for Students, AAA, both support that. So those movements will come at some point, I believe. I believe it will pass. Just make sure that you know who you're voting for. Make sure that people you support school choice. Make sure they support your Christian values, because in all honesty, we're not going to see people that are walking with Jesus, a lot of them, in these political positions. You know, my role, Mrs. Harris knows, my role with Broward Health, I go to a lot of functions and I see a lot of legislators, okay? They're exposed to everything out there, okay? They're fighting a battle. To live for Jesus and be a legislator is a huge challenge, okay? The bottom line is you still want to vote for people that support moral issues that reflect your values. And you've got to do the homework to find that out, okay? And what they say is not always what they do. We have seen that. So just scholarships, I already talked about the accreditation survey. It will go out today or tomorrow. I went over the calendar basically. Friday, if you have Thursday, if you have a fifth grader, 10 o'clock is the promotion exercise. Thursday, June the 2nd, is the kindergarten promotion exercise. Friday, well, let me skip that. Monday, June the 6th, at the other property is 8th grade and high school. And we will have a schedule for awards assemblies on June the 7th. I will try to get that out to you either by the end of the week or Monday, so you know time frames. The last thing that I want to talk about is I want to turn the microphone over to Mrs. Perez, because Friday, June the 3rd is Color Wars Activity Day, and she's recruiting volunteers. So let's give it to her.
Yes, so June 3rd is Field Day Color Wars, and it is a fun, exciting day, and we need all of you here. Okay, I heard it. You said okay. Okay, so our students have been coming in on Fridays wearing their assigned color. And they've been so excited decorating the classrooms. Even like Mrs. Angier wasn't here on Friday, and I went to the class, and it was decked out in purple because her class is purple. And they did everything that they could to make it fun, right? So this is just a fun time for the school to come together as a unit and have, you know, this energy of, you know, it's the end of the school year. It's time to have a little fun. The teachers don't always appreciate it because the kids can be a little bit, you know, extra excited, hyped up, you know, but it just allows them to end the school year on a good note. So on June 3rd, we're going to have a bunch of activities that are all outside, and I need volunteers. So, like, for real. So, if you could come and volunteer, be with your class, or let's say you have 2 children and you don't want to give, you know, all of your attention to one class, maybe you'll want to just be at a specific assigned area, like a game or a bounce house or something like that. That's what I need help with, okay? So I'm going to be sending out an email today, and please respond if you're available. It would be an all-day thing, all day. Be ready to sweat, lose some pounds, okay? And just enjoy this time with your children, right? Because they grow up so fast. I mean, my daughter's already going into her 3rd year of college, and it feels like yesterday that she was here in 8th grade. So it does go fast. It is a great time, and the kids love when their parents come and that they are involved, even if they seem like they're embarrassed. Trust me, they will always remember that their parents came and that they gave up of their time to have a little fun and get excited to be at their school, okay? So today that email will go out. I also will be having a volunteer meeting ahead of that, before that date, so that will go out to everybody that is volunteering, okay? And if you decide that day, you wake up that morning and you're like, I want to volunteer, come. Okay? We're not going to deny anybody. So just know that the email's going out. We're going to have a great time, and the kids are going to have a blast. And we have only 3 weeks left of school. So can I talk about one more thing? Summer camp. Okay, so it's okay. So we have summer camp coming up. It'll start the Monday after school ends. I believe that's June 13th. And it will run all the way up until August 5th, I believe is the date. And we will have fun activities happening every week. But one of the things I know that for parents, I am a mom of 4, so I know that cost could be an issue. So we do have a scholarship through the ELC, which is where they provide VPK and stuff like that, and it's called Student Readiness, and they do help you with the cost of camp and after school childcare. So if that's something that you might be in need of, please go to elcbroward.org. It's under the Student Readiness bracket. You just click on it and you fill out the application, and you can have your summer camp at like a minimum of maybe $20 a week. So, and it allows your kids to get out of the house, to burn some energy, to build friendships, and to, allow them to have a little fun too. Not that they don't have fun with us at home, right? But they'll have fun here at camp also. Okay, so camp is from 2 years old all the way up to 7th grade, all right? So if you have any questions about that, you can contact me or Miss Patricia McNeil, who's our 5th grade teacher. She runs the older kids, and I take care of the younger kids, okay? Any questions? No? Okay, awesome. Have a great day, guys.
Okay, so I think it's actually students going into 7th grade, isn't it? I think it's 6th grade, current year, going into 7th grade next year for summer camp. I did have a couple of students whose parents reached out and asked, could they help? It depends, but if we do have a student that is like an NJHS student, which is National Junior Honor Society, they want some hours, we may be able to work out where they can come in and do some volunteering during summer camp, be it helping us to organize things or going in and reading to the students, etc. So I think that's what I have. I wanted to know if there's any questions. Yes, ma'am. We're not changing the uniform store this year. So let me tell you what happened. We had a uniform store come in, okay? And they did a presentation, and it was very nice, etc., etc. We met with Reese Brothers and talked about the issues, and I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't even think about it because it's been so long. I mean, my high school students never even wore uniforms because by the time we got the shirts, I wasn't going to charge parents for a shirt at that point. We're minimizing what we're doing. So what they have for this year, they can continue wearing, but I think we're going red or light blue. Is it light blue or dark blue? I'm not positive. I'll try to, make a note that I send out uniform information across the board. We're trying to do a generic skirt, and I think we're doing a navy skirt. They can still wear what they have for the younger kids as well as the older kids, because what they told us was that they had such a hard time getting their material that they were ill prepared. I don't know that to be the case. They did finally finish the orders, etc. They promised the sun, the moon, and the stars. I told them we will do one more year. The thing is that we have to go in and buy out uniforms if we change uniform companies. We have to buy out all of their surplus. And so we're changing some of the thing. We're doing a dry fit shirt, okay, as opposed to the knit shirt. In all honesty, we live in South Florida. Knit is too heavy to wear when it's hot. And it's hot from August through October and from April till June. So the kids need something. We're doing a dry fit jacket, okay? You can still wear what they have, but they're changing jackets. We're doing generic, more broad, widespread, because we sat down and picked out the things that they told us that they have that they can get in stock. So we'll see how it works. And I will send you information. And I actually told Arlene I needed a meeting this week with the uniform company to go over to make sure how they prepared, okay? They are supposed to be coming on property. I don't remember the date, but I think it's either the end of July or the beginning of June, the end of June or the beginning of July, I believe. I will try to get a uniform letter out to everybody, and then I'll send you a text. If you're like me, you don't always read your emails. So if you, what I try to do, you're good, but some of you, not in this room, some of my other parents don't always read the emails, so then I'll send a text and say, please read the email I just sent because it's important. And if you do read the email, most people read the first paragraph and they kind of scan the rest. And so I will try to send out uniform. My husband, selling seafood, has had to call 15 different purveyors to get the content that he needed to sell to the hotels that they sell to. So he knows how hard it is to get product. In light of that, I tried to give him some benefit of the doubt. I don't think they stocked ahead like they should have. But I felt like it's a lot to change a uniform company. I mean, it really is a lot of work. So they know that this is their only year to try. We'll see how they do, and you guys are going to have to keep me informed. Right. It comes off. Right. If they come out like that, if we don't do that, and I think they are still going to offer knit, but I think the dry fit is what. Can you go get a couple of the dry fit shirts and grab my jacket that's on? I'll show you. I think the dry fits won't change colors, but if you have trouble with the uniform changing colors, let me know. Yeah, but let me know. We'll exchange them. They'll give you your money back. Uh-huh. They're really, so we went with dry fit shorts, dry fit pants, dry fit shirts. Would you think that, we talked about this and I didn't, maybe we should have an evening that we bring them in and let them show you what we're going to do? Would that help? Okay. I'll send Sarah to look for him. Oh, you know what? Um, Zaria and Stefan. Is Ricky in 6A or 6B? 6A. Go to Mrs. Ramirez's room and ask her if she could bring Ricky. Ask Ricky if he has on his dry fit shorts. If he does, ask him if he'll come down here. He'll love it if we make him model in front of everybody. Oh, listen, I look up to Brandon. I said to him the other day, how tall are you? Okay. They won't have that issue. Well, okay, we need to find out what they can do. Okay. Right. Uh, right. So a couple of things. I really want us to try to stay in the uniform store area because what happens is everybody looks different otherwise. I have some kid, and this year we've given, come on in, Ricky. Okay, Ricky, up on the platform. Come here. Come here. Are those dry fit? Yeah, they are. Pull your shirt up a little bit. Okay. Just up here. Strut a little bit, back and forth. Let the moms see. Out on the nose. Come on, Ricky, like a model. Head up. Come on, smile at everybody. They look nice and okay. Give Ricky a hand. Okay, you can go back to class. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, dry fit shirts. Now, I don't know why somebody ordered a 3X. I'm not sure who that's going to fit. It's like a dress on me. And I'm not small, okay? But it is, I asked about pulls. They told me they don't have trouble with pulls. If dry fit's pull, I know that. If you have trouble with something, they've told me they're going to take care of it. The jackets, now the only complaint that I have, I'm not sure about the eagle versus the patch, because the patch is a lot of stitches and it kind of crinkles, but the jacket is a dry fit jacket too. The sleeves are a little long, so I might have to have the sleeves taken. Okay. But listen, okay, we're going to get you somewhere that'll embroider them and give you the reference where you can have their names put on them. Please, your name's on everything. I have stacks of stuff that the kids have left, and I'm like, don't your parents want you to bring your clothes home? Mrs. McMorris, did you have a question? I think they have navy blue and red. I'm going to find out, and I'll send you an email. I'll try to do it this week. I'll actually have somebody else write the email. Mrs. Satelli, would you help me with that? I think they can wear blue and khaki, and they even lower grades, I think. Yeah. I will. I think we asked for navy blue slacks for chapel still, but the shorts, they can wear blue and khaki. If they can't, I will change that. I will talk to them. But I will send out this week what you can wear. Yeah, you can pass them around. We'll leave them up here that you can see them. And I will ask him to come and do a meeting and open it up. So if you can just give me a thumbs up, is it better to do a meeting first thing in the morning or in the evening? Morning? Morning? Okay. So I'm going to see if I can get him here either next week or the week after one morning and show you some uniform options. Would that help you? So we had a 3-hour meeting with another uniform company. I called them and told them I was canceling the contract. Their president asked if he could come and meet. We sat down and met. We talked about different options. We did another 2-3-hour meeting, went over things, and I said, we need something that looks good. And I told them, your colors fade. I mean, come on, And I've tried all the things to keep colors. Put salt in the water, put this in the water, use woolite, do this. It doesn't help, So they are going to offer knit. I'm assuming the knit will still fade, so I'd encourage you to stay with the dry fit if you can. But if you have problems with something, hold them accountable. If they don't give you a solution, come to the office, please. You had your hand up a little while ago. What's your question? Yes. Okay. Right. I think we're doing colors across the board for next year, so that if you have a second grader that didn't grow, you don't have to buy a new uniform next year if they're still in good shape. We're trying to make it, in all honesty, my goal isn't to make you pay more money. My goal is for the kids to look nice, okay? So we will get the information, and I will try to host a morning meeting that you guys can come to and see uniforms. Any other questions? Yes. Yeah. You can still wear the uniforms that you bought this year for next year. I'm going to let you, okay? You send me an email and remind me, okay? Who's your daughter? Okay, I know who Amy is. She's in Miss Brandau's room, isn't she? She's in Miss Barbara's room. Okay, so what I want to conclude with, and if you, yes, ma'am. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Miss Henneberry is working with a different photographer. Strawbridge is still going to do the yearbook. She went over to Highlands, I believe, last week. If not, she got sick last week, so I'm not sure if she went. She was supposed to go on Wednesday or Thursday. If she did not go, she's supposed to go this week to look at the photographer that they used because the pictures are too dark. Yeah. I don't know if you've watched the commercials by Apple and Samsung right now, and this camera adjusts to skin color. I mean, I'm like with Strawbridge. Believe it or not, I have a lot of children that have dark skin color, and I need to be able to see their face. Okay? We need them to look good, so help me out here. Right. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is keep them from yearbook, but use a different photographer for the actual photo packages. I, I, we are hoping to have more after-school activities, especially for the little kids, book club, etc. My librarian was supposed to organize all of that this year and sent one thing out in the fall and didn't have many responses, but never did anything else. Now here's the problem with that. She ended up substituting a lot. So we didn't put it on the plate, but the goal is to have more after-school activities. The goal is we actually have a bus driver that's picking kids up in the morning and available during the day, and we have a second bus driver so that we can do field trips. So we're going to ask the teachers to plan field trips, either at least a couple field trips a year. If they want to bring a speaker in, they can bring a speaker in, but at least get the kids out a little bit. You know what? Life is not going to be normal till we start doing some of this stuff. So what I would like, and this will have to be something that we work in conjunction with Mrs. Hustamonte, I'd like strong room parents that will assist the teachers with some of those plans. You know, make suggestions what you think the kids would like to do. 6th grade is already chomping at the bit, and I don't think I have time to plan a field trip between now and the end of the year. Okay, unless you want to do it. I know. They're like, can we go to St. Augustine? I said, I don't know. I know. They want to go to St. Augustine. And the group this year never went either. So 5th grade didn't go, 4th grade didn't go, 6th grade didn't go. With all of them, we can work on that for the fall. Yeah. For next year, do we have somebody that wants to design a Friday shirt? Well, we'll see if we can get the kids to do a graphic design on a Friday shirt. Yes. Yeah. And I have some old Friday shirts I just need to give away, but we'll work on something for the fall. I promise. Okay, for that. Okay. Anything else? Listen, I kept you for an hour. One more. Wait, one more. Okay, here's the thing with the patties. Let me just tell you. Miss Pat was selling patties. I mentioned it to Carla, and Carla said, Miss Pat is the caterer's employee. She's selling them, the caterer's not selling them. As a result of that, if somebody got sick, we wouldn't be covered by his insurance. So I am going to meet with him and ask if he will consider doing that. She doesn't really want me to. Yeah. Yeah, well, she was selling them like that for a while. So I told her, I said, we can't do it because of insurance. I will talk to John about it and see what he says. Yeah, you'll send me an email and remind me. Yes, ma'am. If you want to meet with Miss Henneberry and give some suggestions about clubs, we will look at what we can do. I would like to see the kids involved. You know, Friday night I was out of town because I was doing a rehearsal dinner, but Mrs. Ramirez and Miss Dean took a group of students over to junior achievement. My 5th graders didn't even do junior achievement this year. And last year 6th graders, they didn't do junior achievement. So they had their fundraising dinner. We had 6 or 7 5th graders there, and we had 2 8th graders there speaking. We need to do some of this stuff. So we need to be out there and be involved and be more involved. In order to do that, we're going to need a team. So you wouldn't be here this morning if you weren't invested in the school and in your child's education. I so appreciate you. and I so appreciate your time. But we want to do things next year. Let's plan it together. Mrs. Perez will have some parent meetings during the summer, and we will even go through our handbook because we're going to review that before accreditation. I'll send something out and let you know if you're interested in helping with that. We would welcome going through, what do you think we should do here? I don't want to have cell phones next year. Can you guys help me with that? Cell phones are a nightmare. Yes, Mrs. McMorris. Yes. Yes. No, it's still through LCS. So we will still be part of LCS. We'll still do fine arts, academic and fine arts. We'll still participate in all of that. We're staying with them, but it's a renewal. So every 5 years, every year I do an accreditation report, okay? Every 5 years, a team has to come back in and visit. So this will be the team visit to come in. We will work on trying to make sure we have more activities and clubs for everybody because we need to, and field trips. We did not this year, okay? The church did. Normally, National Day of Prayer, Margate does a big thing. To my knowledge, they didn't, okay? Number two, Coral Springs does an event that we usually send a student to. We were going to send Elijah Perez, but they invite the church, but the school usually does the rep. Somebody from the church invited someone from the church without telling me, so I had invited Elijah, so I had to rescind my invitation. So the church participated. I mean, we've participated a lot in Coral Springs, so I could have asked if I could send somebody separate, but I didn't want to step on any toes. I'd really like to do National Day of Prayer and do an event here. I wasn't here on National Day of Prayer in the morning, and it was probably good that I didn't plan something because I ended up sick, but I was at a Florida Blue event the night before that in Orlando for Children's Diagnostic and Treatment Center, and then driving home. But I would love to have a team that gets together and talks about some of the things that you would like to do, and we work together on who can help us with these things. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Right. Some of some of the classrooms did. We didn't do it as a full group, but we can look at doing that for next year too. You know, in all honesty, everything shut down. Everything shut down, and all sort. What I'd really like to do is I'd like to do an international day. We used to do that and let the kids dress up in their own culture and bring food and share. You know, what is the taste of the Bahamas like? What is the taste of Trinidad like? You know, only I don't know that I would eat chicken of the tree. Bowie, our guy who used to work here, who passed away last year, who's Trinidadian, when I used to tell him to get the iguanas, he said, "But that's chicken of the tree." And he ate it. Yes, ma'am. Miss Lloyd. Yes, ma'am. So if we did a huge international day, would that? That would be really fun. You know what? You know what I think might be nice? We did the school choice event in January. We're going to do school choice again. Could we do school choice and have it be an international celebration of school choice too? And make it, everybody dresses up. We have speakers that talk. Okay, they can do it in their classroom, but some of the kids that have done keynotes and they've been really, we could highlight them, focus it, and then we could have a huge luncheon where we have parents here, serve, etc. That's a lot of planning, so I need some help. So let me know, send me an email, let me know what you can help with. Yes, ma'am. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to do it school-wide this year, and I know that all of you need to leave, and if you want to stay and talk, I am available, but in Numbers chapter 6, the Lord spoke to Moses, said, speak to Aaron and his sons and say, this is the way that you shall bless your children. So this is for you, because you're God's kids. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. In the name of Jesus, that's what needs to guide everything that we say and do. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Anything we can do to help the experience for your kids here and for you, please let me know. Thank you for being here today. God bless you.